once again for a couple of cold ones with Corey and Carlisle.
I don't know who that is. Are you the crypt keeper this week? What,
I have no fucking...
just changing it up just to see if you can do it?
It's time once again for a couple of cold
No, it's too late. It's too late for that now. Don't even try. Don't backtrack. You already did it.
It's time once again.
But that doesn't mean you got to go back and do it again. No, welcome.
I'm well aware of that.
So how you doing, man?
Not too bad, brother. How about yourself?
No, I'm doing all right. Do you like this beer? How about it?
Yeah, no, this is good beer. I was glad you bought it again.
The Modelo Especial?
Yeah, we're drinking Modelo tonight. It was one of those things where we kind of, I had a little brain fart, and he's like, hey, man, you going to bring the beer? I'm like, dude, I brought the beer last week. And then he hangs up, and then he calls back, and he goes, dude, you sure you want me to bring the beer? I'm headed. No, all right, fine.
I want to be fair. I was like,
you went to get the beer, and as soon as I hang up, I'm like, shit.
Well,
as soon as the beer last week.
Yeah. As soon as you hung up, I realized, I'm like, no, I bought the beer, but who cares? It's just beer. I mean, we'll make it up in the different some kind of way.
It was like we were talking about, there were 2 weeks where I had brought the beer.
But then there was that one time that neither one of us brought beer.
I brought cookies, though.
But cookies don't count.
You ate the fucking cookies. Okay. And you liked, they were good fucking cookies.
Okay, here's the deal. You bring beer 2 weeks in a row, and I'll bring cookies next week. How about that? Yeah. Shit, I'll make s'mores one week or something.
S'mores. What? You're gonna set up a campfire and we're gonna sleep in the same sleeping bag together or something like that.
Does that involve making s'mores? All that? Do I have to sleep in the bag with you to make s'mores? Where did all that get mixed up? I mean,
I have no clue.
S'mores
that
to me
just
was
sounded gay.
Did it sound? You and I sleep in the same sleeping bag? No, that's not gay at all.
I was talking about the s'mores.
Okay, yeah, marshmallows and graham crackers. That's gay.
At the fact that it sounded gay through metaphor.
Because I was about to say the way I was taught to make s'mores was just put a marshmallow and a graham cracker with some chocolate, and that was it. You talking about I got to slip into a sleeping bag with you now? I don't know how you made s'mores back in the day, but hey, the different experience for everybody, right? What kind of Cub Scout troop were you in?
Not a good one.
Were you in the one that had that gay guy?
I was the one they make movies about that end up in the wilderness and end up getting, losing people.
End up getting bro raped? Okay.
See, you had to bring up bro rape. Now everyone is taking shots.
Yeah, I know. This is going to be the last week. I'm going to leave it alone.
See, I almost said, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to go to bro rape. And then we ended up at bro rape.
We got to stop it, man.
We've got to. This bro rape must stop.
Jesus, what is going on with my computer here?
I have no clue. It's on the other side of the room from me.
I'm looking up a page and it doesn't want to deviate from that. I'm trying to go to the top 5 for this week, and here it is. It finally did it. All right, give me a second here to press this button, come over here and crank the gear, and
that's right. This is the most interesting thing we've talked about all night.
I know, action-packed, boy. You should see how I'm punching this keyboard right here. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah. Well, while you're doing that, the top 5.
You're gonna have to wait. What is going on with this computer? Is fucking with me right now.
It's an Apple. That's what's going on.
Please.
You're on a Mac.
No. I've had problems with computers in general. Computers and cars, man. That's the bane of my existence these days. I'm thinking about living in a cave in about a year or so, getting out this whole movie thing completely. All right.
Pull the Sam Jackson thing, Caveman's Valentine.
Go ahead. Jesus Christ, man, this will not give me the top 5. I mean, what the fuck is going on here? I'm so sorry, man. People, please, I do not mean to hold up your time right here, but blame Yahoo, which is what I usually go to.
Or we can blame your Mac.
No, we blame Yahoo. It's the page. It's not the computer. I'll tell you what. I'm just going to go to somewhere.
Go to CNN.
I'm going to go to...
CNN's got it.
Really? I was going to go straight to Box Office Mojo.
Okay, that'll work too.
Type it in here.
For those of you that aren't familiar with Box Office Mojo, it is the place to go for all sorts of box office numbers.
It is. It really is. Somebody turned me on to that a couple of years ago, and I have to say, they are quite good. I love to go there on Fridays to get the Friday estimates, and that usually predicts what happens.
Their commentary is pretty much crap, but their numbers are always awesome.
They got some real bad reviews on that.
It's pretty much one guy.
It's that I don't even want to name the guy because I'm looking at his name right now. But it's a great site. The reviews are not all that.
As far as numbers goes and the way it works, it is. If you aren't familiar with that site and you're one of those alpha movie geeks, you got to know about Box Office Mojo.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, look at that. Yahoo ain't shit, but Box Office Mojo right there for me, right on my side. So
number 5,
The Strangers. That movie's holding in there, boy.
Well, I mean, it had a really weird weekend, and so everybody had to find out what the deal was.
Yeah, it was a very small movie. I don't know the budget on it, but it's made $37 million right now.
Did you like it?
You see, now here's the deal about that movie. I've told people over and over again who ask me, they say, a lot of people have told me, I'm going to see The Strangers. What'd you think about it? I said, I didn't care for it all that much. And then they go see it. And what do they do when they come back? They call me up or text message me. I didn't like that movie. Why didn't you tell me? I hate you. And I was like, I tried to tell you.
See, and I've been hearing a lot of people going, yeah, I don't get it because I went and saw it and it was crap. But everybody keeps going to see it, and apparently it's not that good.
I'm telling you, there's some weird shit going on. I feel like I'm in the bizarro world. Like me telling you, you know what? I should just tell people, yeah, go see the movie. And then they'll be like, nah, that's all right. So, yeah, because apparently they're going to do the opposite of what I say. The movie's really not all that good, man. And the critics loved it. I don't understand why. I won't say they loved it, but if you look up the average, like on Yahoo or Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's got a fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's got a B- or B+ on Yahoo. I don't get it because there's nobody in there that's a real art house star that would appeal to critics. This
is an adaptation of a French film.
There you go. That's right. Them. That's the name of the movie. Yeah, and that's probably what it is. And I never saw this French movie, but I'm sure because it was a foreign film.
It's at my local video store, and the guy keeps telling me to check it out. So I'll go and I'll rent it. But let's move on to the big drop off this weekend at number 4.
Yeah, with Sex in the City.
With 63% drop off from last weekend.
Yeah, movie
now, granted,
made $21 million.
What, $20 million?
$21 million.
Yeah. But it still was a drop-off, and it was a big drop-off.
It was a big drop-off, but it's on the border of making $100 million.
Sure.
And that's in 2 weeks. So, look, you know how we feel about the movie. I think it's mediocre. You hated it, but the movie served its purpose.
Stinking pile of shit is what I thought of it.
Exactly. But apparently a lot of women out there did not think so, and they made this movie a hit. So, officially, that drop-off for the studios is like no big deal. We made our money.
Well, it is and it isn't. The point is that it officially hits that it's a hype movie, that it wasn't able to maintain the business that it did. It didn't get good word of mouth. The people who wanted to see it went and saw it. And the people who couldn't see it last weekend went and saw it this weekend.
But it did get word of mouth among the people who wanted to see it. That a lot of people came out of there saying, a lot of women told other women or whoever were fans of the show, I loved it. Go see it. So it attracted who it needed to attract, and it made its money. And now it can get out of there.
And get the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly.
And get its ass whooped by number 3, which is
Indiana Jones and the skull fucking
baby.
Whatever.
And it's Kingdom of the Skull fucking. What the fuck are you on tonight?
What am I on?
What are you on?
We had 2 weeks of ass poking and bro rape, and now you're going to ask me what I'm on?
Skull fucking? We've moved on to skull fucking?
That's insane for you? Out of all that shit, all of a sudden I say skull fucking, and that's crazy for you?
Regular consensual sex versus skull fucking? Are you kidding me?
Have you ever done it?
No.
Okay then, please. All right. Don't knock it until you try it.
Cannibal Holocaust.
I'm not talking about somebody who's still alive. I'm just talking about taking a nice, smooth white skull and going to town with it.
Of course, with you it always has to be a white skull.
Of course. But no, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, that movie's on its way to, it's $253 million now.
$253 million. It's still going strong.
So if all those people have said that movie's a piece of shit, and this is coming from somebody who didn't love it, it's doing as well as any of the others. So
yeah, it sure is.
So
and coming from somebody who loved the hell out of it, God bless it, because people are still going out and seeing
it's funny
because flick.
I know you loved it. I recommend the movie to people. I just didn't love the movie. I think it's a series that's running its course. I think they should stop right now while this movie has made money.
Now, see, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
See, as much as I love the Rambo send-up that happened earlier this year, I don't want to see a 5th one.
And they were talking about a rumor of that.
Well, it's not rumored. They're putting it together. We'll see what happens.
See, fuck that, man. And then Harrison Ford made the comment saying, I'd make another Indiana Jones movie if it didn't take 20 years because I might be dead by then.
Yeah.
But I really stopped. I mean, leave us with some good memories. I mean, even this was just barely crossing the line for me. So, all right. So, number 2. You don't mess with the Zohan, Carlisle.
I think people messed with the Zohan. I know you guys liked it, but other people did not.
No, and that was what I said. I mean, I think in the audio you probably heard me say,
"No,
hey,
I didn't hear it."
Okay, I said, I know this movie's probably going to get criticized, but I liked it. I don't know what it is about it. I laughed.
Well, Zohan did what, 40 million this weekend?
40 million.
Which is good. Which is on par. It's a little lower than he normally does. Usually his summer openings like Click and Click did like 43 million.
But it's around that area. I mean, I don't know what these movies pull. I know they go between the $30 to $40 million range.
Yeah,
so I think
yeah. But the thing is it's even though prices are going up, his every film he does makes a little less. So, but it's still a respectable 40 million, but not even a pimple on the ass of the number one film, which is
Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda, baby, $60 million.
And no, those two movies, they had a good weekend. Because you talk about two movies that have pulled in a lot of money. $40 million ain't nothing to sneeze at. And that's really, like you said, that's on par with what they want to make. They're satisfied. They're like saying, hey, Adam, you're going to make another movie. Kung Fu Panda, that exceeded expectations.
Well, not only did it exceed expectations, but it is the best performing animated film that DreamWorks has put out that wasn't a sequel.
Is it? Is
yeah,
that?
It bested Shrek. It bested Over the Hedge. It bested, God, what was the other one that did really well? They of their films that have done really well, the only things that DreamWorks has done that was better were their sequels, like Shrek 2 and Shrek 3.
Well, DreamWorks has finally gotten to the point where they built up a name.
Yeah, and they finally built up talent.
Shark Tale, I think, is the other one you're thinking of.
Shark's Tale did better than Shark's Tale.
Yeah. I think given the history, it makes sense. I mean, DreamWorks has been putting out some all these animated movies, which have been hits, and they've steadily gained more money as they've gone along.
Now, did you go and see it this weekend?
No, but I'm dying to see it now.
You gotta see it, dude. You are a kung fu nut and you're an animation nut, dude.
Yeah.
You are so gonna dig the shit out of this. The opening sequence alone is gonna give you geek joy. It's
no, I've gone on to Rotten Tomatoes. It's one of the best reviewed movies this year.
Yeah.
I was surprised at all the critical praise for it, and now it made $60 million. Man, that's a fuckload of money for an opening movie with no sequel.
This is the surprise hit of the summer. This is the one that nobody saw coming, that everybody's walking out of going, holy crap. And all the critics did that. We all walked in going, how good can this be? It's a fucking animated film with Jack Black.
And it's called Kung Fu Panda.
It's called Kung Fu Panda, for Christ's sake. This is going to be retarded. And then it just blows your doors off, and you're like, holy crap. And there's still people going, oh, this looks stupid. I'll check it out on DVD, but this looks terrible. How can you give a good review to a movie called Kung Fu Panda? And it's like, dude, have you seen it? And then all these people are coming back going, holy crap, I just took my kids, and it was awesome.
Well, I wouldn't even worry about it. Yeah, no, I wouldn't even worry about those people, because apparently a lot of people thought that the movie would be good, and they went to see the movie. They make $60 million for nothing.
The thing is that kids dragged their parents, and their parents went, and then the parents loved it. This is going to be that film that I guarantee you starts getting a lot of repeat business as parents go, while the kids are saying, Daddy, can we go see Kung Fu Panda again? Can we go see Kung Fu Panda again? They go, you know what? Yeah, let's go see Kung Fu Panda again. I'll take you guys to see that. I enjoyed that.
But also, let's keep in mind that it probably performed better than Zohan, whatever, because it opened up in 1,000 more theaters, too.
Well, but I would also put it did it better because it was a rated PG movie versus a PG-13?
But as we know, a PG movie doesn't always do well in the summertime, hence Speed Racer. Unless it's an animated movie. Yeah,
that's the thing. There's a lot of reasons it did better than Zohan. The thing is Zohan hit its target market.
Yeah.
It, like what I was talking about was the fact that it made the amount of money that an Adam Sandler film normally makes, except it made just a little lower. Like he seems to be losing his audience slowly year by year. What was it? The Longest Yard. When it opened, it made $47 million. Then when Click opened, it made $43 million. This one opened to $40 million. He's slowly having people who are getting older and going, you know what? I'll just check that out on DVD. I'm not excited to see it in the theater. But he's still got that core audience that comes back and sees him every time.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but the thing is this is one of those vehicles that your average person goes and sees, but most film cinephiles turn their nose up at. Well, it turns out this is a film for cinephiles.
Well, the Kung Fu Panda example is what we've always said. I mean, I think it's what I was telling you a few weeks ago. Like, if you're going to release a live-action PG-13 movie in the summertime, it better be a big property, something that people already know, people are dying to see. Because if it's not, I think you're going to take the risk of not doing well, unless you're an animated CG movie.
Well, it depends on what time of the summer you come out with and what your competition
if you're talking about later in the summer, maybe.
Well, this is why you get the more surprise films in July and August. These are the films that, could not compete in May and June. May and June, how are you going to compete when there's an Indiana Jones movie in the box office. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
and you shouldn't even go up against it. Yeah.
Speed Racer got its ass kicked, not just because it was rated PG. It got its ass kicked because Iron Man was all the kids could talk about, is how cool Iron Man is. And everybody went back to see it a second time the second weekend.
But I also think Iron Man not Iron, but Speed Racer was just something nobody wanted to see. Now, if they had made a CG Speed Racer movie, I think people would have been... They would have killed themselves to see that film.
It all depends. It was the marketing, dude. We've discussed this several times. It was how they marketed it. They didn't market it properly to kids to get kids to want to go see it, and they didn't market it properly to adults to make adults want to go see it. They kind of tried to hit the middle, and they marketed to both, and ended up marketing to neither.
Yeah, but Kung Fu Panda.
This film, man,
talking animals, man, still kicking ass at the theater. Dude, if you want to make some money, make a CG movie about some talking animals.
Well, not necessarily, because there have been plenty that have crapped out and have underperformed. But this did
I'd say it's a good bet, though. I'll tell you that much.
Well, if you do a good one like this, because that's the thing, is the good word of mouth helped this through the weekend, and it's going to help it through. Kung Fu Panda, we're going to be talking about this movie every week for the next 3 or 4 weeks, if not longer.
You think so?
I think so.
I think it's going to hit his mark, and I don't think it's going to be the big talk.
I disagree, dude. I think this is going to be one that the kids are going to keep seeing over and over again. Because first of all, this next weekend, there's nothing being marketed to the kids. It's being marketed to adults. We'll get to that in a minute. And then, of course, the week after, God, what is the week after that? We're not going to have another animated film until the end of the month.
I think the summer is still a little too strong for this movie to keep having people talk about it.
Well, you know what? This is one of those instances where you're talking out your ass because you haven't seen it yet.
No, it doesn't. I don't have to.
The minute you see it, you're going to understand what I'm talking about.
No, I'm not saying if I see the movie, I'm not going to love it or anything. If I see it and love it, I'm still going to probably think business-wise, it's not going to be a movie that we'll keep talking about. Not with movies that are coming out right now.
I'm telling you, it's going to be that movie that will hang in there because the kids are going to want to see it over and over again, and it doesn't have any real family competition until Wall-E at the end of the month.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's coming up. But like I say, I think we'll talk about okay, we've done the top 5 here.
All right.
I think the Hulk has been getting better and better word of mouth, and I think that's something that kids want to go see. They already got the marketing for the toys geared towards kids. So I think.
I saw some of the information on the tracking on the Hulk. Nobody anticipated it, but the Hulk has been tracking at almost the same level that Iron Man was. There's actually this interest in it that just isn't bubbling and frothing publicly like Iron Man was, but it looks like it's going to do Iron Man numbers. And as the reviews that just came out from this week hit, man, everyone is loving this film.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go on a limb here, and this is me taking a guess. As much as I want this film to do well, Iron Man numbers are going to be hard to get. Iron Man numbers, here's what I'm thinking now. I'm thinking that movie is going to do very well. It's better than I thought it would have done before because they really are pushing that movie. I didn't think they would push that movie as much near the end as they are now, and that's a good thing. But to get as much record-breaking numbers as Iron Man, I hope it does. Don't get me wrong. I hope it does. But do I think it will? Right now I'm going to say no. But here's hoping it does.
Yeah. All I know is that it's going to kick everybody's ass.
Man, I want to see. That's the kind of shit I want to see. I want to see Hulk go in and just beat the shit out of anything that's in his way.
I don't know why I would know that it would kick everyone's ass. Like, if I had seen it last week, which I'm not saying that I did, I would probably think that it would kick everybody's ass.
Well, here's the deal. Now, we can say, you and I had this dispute over whether you should say something or not, and I told you what we could do. But you can come out and say you saw that at Ain't It Cool screening, and you can say that the movie kicks ass.
I could say that, and if I did, I would say that very excitedly, and I would say, God damn it, that movie would probably kick a lot of ass.
Yeah, we don't have to put any spoilers in there.
I'm not saying that I did, and I'm not saying that everyone out there should rush out Friday and see the Hulk in the nearest theater possible. But I might say that.
Okay, you're not saying that, but I'm going to say that you told me that the movie kicked ass, and I'm not going to give any spoilers. I'm not giving a review right here, but nobody's going to care if we promote this movie and say the movie's great. Go see it. So, that's all we can say about it. I'm dying. We'll see it tomorrow. I'm dying to see it, man.
Dude, you guys are going to love this shit.
No, I'm ready to go. I'm going in there with some Hulk hands on. I'm going to Walmart. I'm going to buy some Hulk hands. I'm going to walk into the theater. I might even make it to the screening because I'm going to go and punch in everything I see.
See, I wouldn't recommend that because then you can't touch yourself during the movie.
I can do that afterwards.
Yeah, but Liv Tyler is in this movie.
I'm not that attracted to Liv Tyler. I wish she was around. I'd punch her too. She's a cute girl, but I'm not like gaga crazy over her. You must love her because you're looking at me like, don't you talk about Liv Tyler like that?
No, I'm surprised that there's a woman in this world that you didn't want to do.
I didn't say I did not want to do her.
Okay, I didn't say that.
Let's not get it twisted now. Yes, I would like to do her. I would not. If I met her in a bar, I would definitely not say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy, I can't talk to you." Goddamn right, I would do her, but I'll do her with Hulk hands on. But I'm not. I'm just saying there are women who are in the queue ahead of her.
That just brings up fisting jokes that I don't want to get into.
I'm gonna come into the theater. I'm gonna
smash.
Exactly, smash you right in the ass. No, I'm gonna walk into the theater punching little kids, anybody that's in my way. So I'm so excited for this,
and it's
man.
Going up against a film by M. Night Shyamalan.
So this is
they don't want to show us.
Now this is the
rated R.
Yeah, this is the big competition you're talking about. We have been talking about. They have the whole thing with Hulk and The Happening, and The Happening has the name behind it, M. Night Shyamalan, and I guess
and
what's
his name is all over the place. In fact, it's
yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan presents an M. Night Shyamalan film. M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening.
Yeah. And do we forget to mention by M. Night Shyamalan?
A film by M. Night Shyamalan.
As a matter of fact, I think if you want popcorn, M. Night Shyamalan is serving it in the concession.
M. Night Shyamalan presents M. Night Shyamalan's The Popcorn in the Lobby by M. Night Shyamalan.
Would you like to make that a large? By M. Night Shyamalan. No, it's that dude, man. M. Night Shyamalan has made 2 movies, I think, that were really great. And we talked about this last week. So I keep forgetting that this movie's coming out.
Well, that's because it's not on our calendar this week to go see.
That's shitty, man, too. Now, what are we going to do for that? What can we do? Because we don't have a review coming up. What can we possibly do to make up for this?
We could make fun of M. Night Shyamalan.
Well,
M. Night Shyamalan presents a film by M. Night Shyamalan, starring M. Night Shyamalan and M. Night Shyamalan as M. Night Shyamalan in M. Night Shyamalan's M. Night Shyamalan, a film by M. Night Shyamalan.
Okay, we already got that covered. We made fun of M. Night Shyamalan. What can we do to actually do some sort of review for it?
This is going to have to be a Friday thing. We're going to have to go and see it on Friday and record. We're going to have to pay for it and then invoice the company.
I'm just saying, well, what I'm wondering is, what can we do to put it up promptly? I guess we just have to make a quick review and say at the beginning, hey, look, he didn't let us see the movie, so
if you got the new audio player, the audio reviews can go up instantaneously now. You just have to upload them.
But we need to put up a video, too, for that, so at some point.
I'm well aware of that, but, I mean, come on, we've done this dozens of times, and it usually takes till Sunday, but, you know.
Okay.
Unless you're just ready to do it.
We'll work through it. Yeah. No, we're actually, as I said, we're getting more organized. I want to make sure we have 2 reviews up on Friday of some sort, 2 videos. Oh, first of all, excuse me, hold on. Hey, M. Night, you going to take out the trash or whatever? So he's living with me now. As a matter of fact, he's everywhere.
M. Night Shyamalan's taking out the trash.
Exactly.
The trash taken out by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, he comes back in. Hi, I'm M. Night Shyamalan. I took out the trash. Get your ass back in the room.
He won't even do a commentary track for it. He'll have to stand in front of the camera for 5 minutes telling us everything we're about to see, and then we have to sit through watching it at that point. Have you ever seen those?
No.
The special features on his discs are the worst ever because he is so. As much as I like some of his movies, the guy is such a whore for being in front of the camera. He hates commentaries. So what he does is he stands in front of the camera and goes, "Hi, I'm M. Night Shyamalan." And in the following scene, what you're going to see is this. See, Bruce Willis does this. And then he goes over and he gets this. And the funny thing is that he does this with this. And that means this and this and this. So I don't want to ruin anything, but then he does this and turns out to be a ghost.
Well, if he hates being in front of a camera, why is he in front of a camera talking so much?
In front of a camera.
Oh, okay.
He loves it. And then he sits and explains everything in the scene, and then you go and watch the scene, and you're like, oh, this is exactly what he just told me about.
Yeah, who cares, man?
That was stunning.
I think the dumbest thing that M. Night Shyamalan has done. Now, first of all,
I mean, aside from The Village?
Well, no, but he did
Late
in the Water too. So well, we haven't seen the movie, so I'm going to hold complete judgment. It's just kind of fun to make fun of him, but the movie could be good. The Happening could be all right. In fact,
I wanted to kick ass.
No, of course. Have you seen that trailer where everybody's killing themselves? The Red Band trailer?
No. You keep mentioning this to me, and I don't want to see it because I want to see that in the movie.
Okay, it's a funny trailer, man. I mean, maybe that's a bad way of selling it, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is kind of interesting, at least from a horror point of view. I'm getting some creative gore here, and coming from M. Night Shyamalan, where we've never seen him really do that before, this could be a cool thing. This track record with me is not so good, but this movie could be all sorts of great, and I want it to be that. But as far as going up against something like the Hulk, I mean, what do you think is going to do better? Probably the Hulk, because it's not rated R,
first
of all.
The Hulk is tracking way ahead of The Happening. First of all, there's a number of things involved. for one thing, the buzz on the Hulk is already much higher than The Happening. The few reviews that are out there for The Happening are all strong negatives.
That's what I told you last week.
I say, dude, this is crappy. There weren't any reviews on the Hulk until this week, and now that there's been screenings, everyone's like, dude, the Hulk's awesome. Oh my god. Then you add in the fact that the Hulk is PG-13.
Yeah,
which
The
means
Happening's
teens can
rated
go
R.
and see it. The Happening is a hard R, and they're advertising it that way.
They actually say in the trailer, his first rated R movie. Yeah.
So everybody knows it's rated R, and so the kids aren't going to be able to go see that. And add in the fact that, dude, have you seen the latest TV spot for the Hulk?
Yeah, no, it's been all over the
Tony
internet.
Stark walks out, and it's like, holy shit, it's Iron Man. Oh my god!
Which is funny because they kind of ruined the only real big cameo in that movie by showing a little bit on TV.
Yeah, but everybody knew it was coming. Everybody at the screening I was at knew it was coming, and still everybody fucking loved it when it happened. And it's a cool scene, and so you're just like, holy shit, that's awesome. So
it was in this. Yeah, I really don't think that The Happening is got the as you said, the legs that something like the Hulk does. But man, you never know these days.
What I'm curious to see what happens is I'm wondering if The Happening will take number 2, or if Kung Fu Panda is going to beat it out next weekend.
I'm going to take a guess and say that The Happening will take number 2.
You know what? And that's just what it is. It's a guess. That's why I'm wondering, because there is that possibility if the word of mouth from this weekend with Kung Fu Panda happens and the kids go, I want to go see a movie this weekend. Oh, what's opening? Well, the Hulk is PG-13, and that's a little old for you guys. And we're definitely not going to take you to The Happening. Let's go to Kung Fu Panda again.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it's a hard guess because you got to look at something like Kung Fu Panda, which definitely has more business appeal because it's a PG movie. It's a family film. An R is really hard to sell in the summertime. But as we see,
hard.
But during that first week, I think that given the trend, because we look at something like Sex and the City, where the movie already has a name, it has its audience. And the same way with the Happening, you got people who will probably want to go see this because it's M. Night Shyamalan. That first weekend, I think it's going to be number 2. I think it will drop off after that next weekend.
We'll see, because there's this other issue, and this has happened many times, that films like this decide to not be screened to critics. And then since the critics aren't writing about it, a lot of audiences forget that it's there or hear the positive buzz on another film. And when they stand there at the Cineplex and go, what do you want to see tonight, honey? Well, I hear The Incredible Hulk is good. Oh, I haven't heard anything about The Happening yet. Let's just go and see the Hulk.
It doesn't matter with critics, man. I mean, with critics, I'm telling you, nobody gives a fuck about what we say.
No. It has nothing. No, see, it has nothing to do with what we say about the movie. The thing is come Friday, there are going to be reviews everywhere for the Hulk. And people are going to be hearing all week from people at work or from other kids at school or just friends or reading the reviews that Kung Fu Panda is great, and nobody's going to be hearing anything about The Happening. It's just a matter of it's a matter of how many. It's like what you talk about. You can always tell what the box office is going to be, what the number 1 at the box office is going to be, by how many commercials you see on television and where the advertising is.
I'm telling you though, given the trend,
Well, I'm just saying it's up in the air. I'm not saying it won't take number 2, but I'm saying there's an oddball chance that Kung Fu Panda could pull an upset.
I mean, I know how much you love Kung Fu Panda, but I'm looking at the business aspect of things. I'm just saying that it's this whole thing about reading about movies ahead of time, tracking it and whatnot. When that audience sees it, I've seen too many shitty movies be number 1, regardless of what anybody has said.
Yeah, but the problem is what it's up against and how popular it is. That's what I'm talking about right now. I'm not talking about quality of film.
Oh, yeah. No, I know.
I'm talking about the fact that this movie just doesn't have any buzz coming in, and what little thing is coming out is sounding negative. Whereas Kung Fu Panda, you keep saying, I'm looking at it from a business aspect. Really, a CG animated film that even adults walked out of going, oh my God, it's awesome, isn't going to continue to kick ass at the box office.
It might, but we're talking about a somewhat quick turnaround too. And we all know that everything, people want to see the new shit. I mean, no matter what it was. And you say that there's no buzz for it, but there is a slight buzz for The Happening. I mean, it's already on the internet. The Red Band trailer's going around. The trailer's going around. They're pushing it heavy on TV now, really heavy on TV. So, yeah, I think it's going to be number 2.
We'll see what happens. I'm curious. I know it's going to do well. I'm not saying that it's going to tank. But, I mean...
Now, what M. Night Shyamalan should have done, he probably should have made that movie a CG movie with some talking animals in it. animals killing themselves and shit. That's a guarantee right there. So I'm just saying every movie, if I had my way, every movie I made from now would be a CG movie with a talking animal in it.
But next week, if Kung Fu Panda's number 2, I'm going to bring a big old bowl of crow for you to sit here and eat and a spoon to suck it down.
No, because I'm not saying that. And hey, bring the crow, but make sure the crow's a CG talking crow. You can go right.
You know what? No, I'll make sure it's fried crow in a bucket.
Okay, yeah. It's okay though, because keep in mind, I'm not saying that I'm hoping that will happen. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm taking an educated guess, and if I'm wrong, I've already said that it's hard to tell. I don't know. I mean,
I'm just throwing out that possibility.
I didn't sit up here and say, "Fuck you, it's gonna be number 2." I don't know for sure myself.
I know it's gonna be number 2. Absolutely. There's no way it's taken, or at least number 2. There's no.
That's
way
what I'm
it's
saying.
Number 1.
No, it's not gonna be number 1. I will say that with confidence.
I'm just curious to see if it's actually number 3. Because that would be pretty freakish, and it could happen. It could be one of those big summer disappointments. Look at what happened with his last film, $37 million opening weekend.
No, it's true. No, I just don't think that idea sold too well. But you're right though. I didn't even take that into account. That shit could be number 10 for all we know.
I mean, it could be that big surprise bomb like what happened with Speed Racer. Who would have guessed that Speed Racer would have been number 3?
Yeah, you're right. So
we'll see.
We'll see.
Anything is possible in the summer box office.
For all we know, the Hulk might show up in The Happening. Beat M. Night Shyamalan's ass. we don't know anything.
Night Shyamalan, the Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk just sits there and blankly stares off screen. I'm so angry.
Or he saw the lady in the water and beats the shit out of M. Night Shyamalan.
We lost contact with Iron Man. What do you mean you lost contact? We lost contact.
So does it look like it's closer that this Avengers thing is going to happen, being at the...
Oh, my God. That's all they could talk about at the screening. Holy crap. The fact that they're doing 2011, we're getting an Avengers film. And 6 weeks before that, we're getting a Captain America film. And before this, we're getting an Iron Man sequel in 2010, and we're getting a Thor movie coming up shortly.
No, I would say that there was nothing convinced me more than when I came out of the New York Comic-Con, and they had all the producers there, and Tim Roth was there talking about the Hulk. Man, those dudes might as well just come out peeing on themselves, because they were so excited about that movie. Yeah. And they were so excited to show you that Tony Stark cameo that they said, look, if you don't think we're fucking around with the Avengers, watch this. And
they are dead serious.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. 3 years from now, we're getting the full-on Avengers film once they've introduced every other character, and it's going to be the thing.
No, I'm dying to see how they pull that off. I'm still not convinced how they will do it. I'm not saying it'll be bad. I just don't see Thor fucking around with Iron Man. But anyway, we have
you
this.
Don't see Thor fucking around with Iron Man.
Did you
ever read the Avengers?
No, I'm talking about in a live action movie. It's different in comics. To do it convincingly on the screen.
That's what the Avengers is going to be all about. That's the one that's going to break the mold, where it's going to say, see, you really can make a movie with all these comic book characters existing in the same place, and it can be awesome.
No, hey man, I'm all behind it 100%. I'm just saying I don't see how, but that's their job to show me. So anyway, I was telling you before we started, there's this whole thing with with Clint Eastwood and Spike Lee. And
oh yeah, I've been reading about it.
I never would have thought in a million years that there would be some sort of tussle with Clint Eastwood and Spike Lee. First of all,
Spike Lee is not, it's not exactly a bizarre phenomenon that he's called out some director on a race issue and that it started a tiff in the press.
My whole deal with Spike Lee, first of all, if I was Spike Lee, I'd shut the fuck up, because Clint Eastwood could track his ass down and beat the shit out of him. I'm convinced of that.
He always picks fights with people who could beat the shit out of him. Look what he did with Quentin Tarantino.
No, I think he could beat the shit out of Quentin Tarantino.
Dude, Quentin Tarantino's the guy who went and punched a producer in the mouth in a restaurant. He just saw him, walked up and clocked him because he said nasty things about him in a book.
I think Quentin Tarantino sized him up before he went over there.
Have you ever met Spike Lee?
Yes,
the guy's like 5'0".
No,
he's like ittle bitty.
I think he's wiry though. I think
he's wiry.
Exactly. I think you get him riled up enough. I think he could take Quentin Tarantino.
Now, granted, Clint Eastwood was a bad motherfucker back in the day. Now you can see veins through every inch of
that's
his
what I'm
skin.
saying. You got to be tough to still be alive, looking like he does. I think he's dead. He just don't know it yet.
Well, Spike Lee.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick your fucking black ass for your shit.
See, I don't think
Don't
he
you
say
mess with a man like
See, I don't even think he say black ass. See, here's my whole deal with Spike Lee.
Why don't you set up the situation?
No, I am. That's what I'm going to say. No, it's Spike Lee. He was upset with Clint Eastwood for not featuring any black soldiers in Flags of Our Fathers. Now, what's confusing me is that this is a movie that came out a couple of years ago. And second of all, if you look at Clint Eastwood does not come across as anybody who is racist at all. And the reason why Clint Eastwood defended himself is because he said, I made Bird. That's the story of Charlie Parker.
Yeah.
And so Spike Lee was kind of upset about that. He's like, well, your white man's making Bird. And I'm like, look, obviously Clint Eastwood is a fan of Charlie Parker. He loves jazz.
He's been
so
a
he
jazz fan forever.
Forever. So he
now,
goes
have you
off.
Ever seen Bird?
Yeah, no, I have seen Bird. It's okay. It's not great. It's an all right movie. But Clint Eastwood did put his heart into it. So I don't think Clint Eastwood.
He made a star out of a little
Forrest
guy
Whitaker.
named Forrest Whitaker.
Exactly. And I don't think. Yeah, he made a star of Forrest Whitaker. Now, I don't think Clint Eastwood was thinking, I'm gonna make this movie before a black man can. I will blame Hollywood. The only way I would, if Spike Lee wants to point his aggression at somebody, point it at Hollywood for probably giving a white man a chance to make a movie before they would a black person. I think at the time Spike Lee was coming up, when that movie was made, it is harder for, I think, black directors to get certain projects done. Because
back in the 80s, it was impossible. But there was guys like Spike Lee were breaking the mold and changing things.
Yeah, but I will say, I'm just saying that at that time, I don't think you should go off and blame Clint Eastwood. You should go off and blame the studio system, which even today, it's hard to get certain black movies made.
Now, frankly, I've also got to kind of chime in here and say, you know what? It doesn't matter whether a white guy or a black guy directed it. Yeah, it's a story about, black characters, but it's directed. What's key is that it's directed by a person in love with the source material.
Yeah.
Which is what it was. Who cares if the director was white or black? It was a director who was telling a great story and was, doing it out of love.
I think you can bring up an issue of color when it comes to certain movies about certain subjects. Charlie Parker, no, I don't think you should raise hell about that. Malcolm X, yeah, I think that's a story that probably should have been made by a black person.
I think it doesn't matter as long as you do the subject justice.
I think there's too much history. Well, hold on. There's too much history of movies being made by white people where you actually have this chance to give some employment to a black director, a black cast. And yeah, that source material is way too personal to give to a white director. I think it should be given to a black director.
I think that's one of the most racist things you've ever said.
It's not racist at all.
Absolutely. No. You're saying that it should be done by, a chance should be given to somebody of color simply because they're of color, not over somebody who has a love of the material.
No, can a white, it would be racist if I said a white person is too dumb to direct Malcolm X. No, hold on.
No.
Let me finish. What I'm saying is that it would be inconsiderate not to consider a black person to direct that movie.
You have seen a white person direct a black movie that pissed you off.
Which one was that?
Hustle and Flow.
Yeah, that did kind of piss me off.
That was like, if you ever run into Corey and you want to see him like just get hollering, screaming mad about this issue, bring up Hustle and Flow and Soul Plane and watch him lose his goddamn mind.
So, I won't even get upset about that because I think a lot of people will agree with me. I would no.
Dude, you talked for 6 weeks straight about how much you hated Soul Plane.
Oh no, Soul Flame. I'm flaming mad. No, Soul Plane. Now that's a fucking movie where I will attack black people on because black people are ignorant when it comes to that shit. And I tell you,
that was funny. What are you talking about?
Yeah, see, and then you one of those people. Now see,
I love that look.
It's funny because I know you're joking because I'm looking at you like that because a point came to mind. Soul Plane is universal. It's colorblind and it's ignorance.
It is universally bad.
But black people, I hold them more accountable than anybody because I've talked to so many black people that have been like, man, that movie funny. You fucking asshole. You son of a bitch. But I won't get so upset about Hustle and Flow. I think
you were pissed for a while.
No, because I really wasn't pissed. I was more pissed about Black Snake Moan. But Hustle and Flow, Hustle and Flow.
You didn't like Black Snake Moan?
Actually, listen to what I'm telling you right now. Hustle and Flow,
right,
I actually looked at and I said, man, you know something? I think it's unfortunate that we have to put another image, and especially such a well-directed movie, such a good movie out there, where it centers on a black person as a pimp. I'm sorry. That kind of made me feel sad. But I don't get too upset about Hustle and Flow because I look at that and I said, man, this is such a well-directed movie and such a well-written movie. I have nothing but praise for that guy who directed it. I will just criticize the subject matter. That's all.
Craig Brewer, I think his name is.
Craig Brewer, yeah. But that guy is an extremely talented guy. And again, a white director who directed a black movie. That movie itself, I don't criticize him for choosing to direct. Okay, I don't criticize white people for directing black movies. I think that's where I would be going overboard. I'm just saying very historical figures, something like Malcolm X. And keep in mind, I said it should be considered. I didn't say they should not absolutely undeniably do it. I just said I think it's kind of callous to not consider a black person to do it because, unlike a lot of people say, you absolutely are off limits to Malcolm X. I'm saying, hey, if you can direct a movie, that's a skill. It's not like a law saying you can't direct it. You're probably a great director to do it. Now, I just think you should be considered.
Bringing us back to the people who are really bored by the social commentary. Don't worry, there's a dick joke coming up here shortly.
Is it? Let me hear it.
What movie does Spike Lee have coming out that he's fucking promoting that he's got to fucking attack?
That's I was talking to John Pearson the other day, and him and I were talking about how Spike Lee was promoting something. What is the movie? Because he said that he was at Cannes or something. He said he just went nuts on Clint Eastwood because he has a movie coming out. Does he have something coming out?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I haven't been paying. I'm not on the Spike Lee chat board, so
yeah, neither am I.
The thing is Spike Lee's a really great director who just kind of got focused on a source material and just kind of petered out there.
Can I tell you something about Spike Lee? And again,
you can't tell me anything.
Okay, no, because
there's nothing you can still tell me about Spike Lee. I know it all.
Spike Lee is black, so he is the best director in the world. No, I would tell you this much about Spike Lee, and again, it's going to take away from me seeming very racial about this, and I'm very biased. I don't think Spike Lee is that good of a writer. I think Spike Lee is a great director, but I don't think he should be criticized.
He's like Robert Rodriguez that way.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he should be
criticized. I would never say that about a white writer director.
I will. I would tell you. I think Clint Eastwood's a far better writer and director as far as he didn't write a lot of his movies. Clint Eastwood,
but because he's smart. He knows he's a director. Not
exactly. So I shouldn't say it, but a lot of the things that Spike Lee has written, I've been like, man, fuck this. He doesn't know these. I can't get into this. I mean, some of his best movies that people have like given praise to, and even something like Do the Right Thing, where people say, well, he wrote that. You know what happened in that movie? He wanted to make Danny Aiello a complete racist, just a guy who hated black people. And Danny Aiello was the one that came up to him and said, what's the deal with me being an Italian white guy selling pizza in a black neighborhood if I hate black people so much? Don't you think I would have love for certain customers around here? So even on that movie, Spike Lee had to come in and get help with it. So I don't think Spike Lee should be criticizing Clint Eastwood. I think, if anything, he should be praising Clint Eastwood for his body of work.
Yeah, and especially someone who in the 80s wanted to do a film that was populated almost entirely with black actors during a time at which you didn't do that.
Yeah,
unless it was, a crime movie or Action Jackson.
Exactly.
Because it came out the same year as Action Jackson, for Christ's sake.
Did it? So I don't even remember that.
And so, it's... No, he did it was a really good movie. It wasn't one of his best by far. He hadn't quite gotten his groove yet. But
if I was Clint Eastwood, I'd just track down Spike Lee and choke the shit out that motherfucker.
Dude, he doesn't even have to. I mean, he really kind of nailed. I heard that tonight Spike Lee had like a comeback, round 3 coming up. I don't know what the deal is, but the thing is Clint Eastwood said what he had to say. He said, I don't know what his problem is. I directed Bird and. Leave it alone. I clearly have no problem with putting black people in the movies when they belong historically. Historically, black men didn't raise the flag. What, I was supposed to change history to make it politically correct? It reminded me of that great scene in The Ultimates, issue 2.
You had to bring this back to some superhero shit.
I did, because that's our audience. No, there's this great scene. There's this great scene where Captain America wakes up from being frozen. And there's Nick Fury standing over him. He says, I'm General Nick Fury, and we've just pulled you out the Atlantic. And then Captain America kicks everyone's ass.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, nice try, Kraut, because I happen to know the highest-ranking black man in the military, and he's a lieutenant.
Yeah, no, I remember that. No,
and it's such a great, because it really does set you in the mindset of who that Captain America is. He comes from a time when there were no black generals. When when a black general would freak a guy out and he would think it was bullshit because you don't do that.
Exactly. No,
and so of course, there were no, there's no black people in that movie. Although, there's a Native American in the movie because they did have a wind talker with them. So.
Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah, no, I mean, and Flags of Our Fathers wasn't even that great of a movie, but
the Sands of Iwo Jima
that was one of the
great movie.
That was one of the best. That was like my favorite movie that year.
He directed a movie with the Japanese that was subtitled. Fucking incredible. He directs
you know what?
a movie
That's
with
a good
whites,
point, man.
And it's lame.
That's a good point. He went off and directed a movie about Japanese, and it was subtitled all in Japanese. That fucking guy is a genius, man. And you know what? They should just leave that shit alone because
his white movie was lame. His Asian movie rocked hard.
Go figure, man. But Clint Eastwood just dropped this shit. Not even answer back because I hate to see these guys be in the middle of this because they are both great directors. Regardless of what I say about Spike Lee's writing. That guy directs great documentaries. He's a fucking genius, too, as far as being a promoter. Yeah. And they're both great, legendary directors.
I have a funny Spike Lee story.
Uh-oh. Did he? Does it involve slipping into a sleeping bag with him after making s'mores?
No. But it involves a friend of mine who's a filmmaker who grew up, idolizing Spike Lee. And this is a white guy, but Spike Lee was the guy who inspired him to make films. And he just loved Spike Lee and loved him. And became good friends with his little brother, Sankey, who you might recognize. He was in Mystery Train, and he's an actor. And
what, are you talking about Spike Lee's brother? Yeah.
Spike Lee's brother. And he wrote Crooklyn with his sister. Now, he became friends with him, and one night, they're in New York City. They're hanging out. They've been drinking, and Sankey's like, dude, let's just go to my brother's house and crash. He's like, okay, fine. Doesn't even dawn on him that when he says we're going to my brother's house, he's talking about we're going to Spike Lee's house to crash and wear off this drinking. And Spike's like really cool, and that's how he meets Spike. He's half drunk, and he's like, holy shit, I'm fucking in Spike Lee's house. He's like, oh yeah, no, you can sleep up in the mic room. Now the mic room is Spike Lee's shrine to Michael Jordan.
Oh, of course.
Which was a room he had in his house that was filled with Michael Jordan shit. And this was the moment that completely deflated him of the hero worship of Spike Lee because he realized that Spike Lee looked at Michael Jordan the same way he looked at Spike Lee.
Well, keep in mind, Spike Lee loves basketball. He loves the Knicks and but he also, as admittedly said, there's certain directors that he loves. Woody Allen being one of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody idolizes somebody.
But it was just really funny because here's this guy who's sleeping in his hero's house, in his hero's house's hero room.
Yeah.
And it just was this moment of dawning on him, like, he's just a guy just like me. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, he seems that way. I've seen Spike Lee talk about 3 times. He went to a party where Spike Lee was there, and it was the most embarrassing thing. See if I can tell the story real quick. It was my friend Albert who just died. I go up and
you always got to bum us out.
I know, man. I know to Albert, but
Albert.
I go up and Albert's girlfriend at the time, she tells me we're going to see Spike Lee speak at UT, and she says, "Oh, Corey, I'm glad I saw you because there's this movie that this woman wants you to be in." I'm like, "What woman?" She's like, "You met her before." I was like, "I don't remember this woman you're talking about." And she's like, "Oh, look, there's this movie that she has. She has Stevie Wonder doing music. Will Smith is going to be in the movie. We'll talk about it after the lecture." And I said, "Oh, okay, whatever." So we go to listen to Spike Lee, sitting there, Spike Lee's talking and whatnot. He takes a Q&A session, and he's being real cool about it. There's certain people that he likes, he invites to this party. So this woman gets up, and she says, and she's a Ethiopian woman, and she's like, and I can't really do the accent, but she gets up and she's like, "I just wanted to let you know that I respect you, and they're doing a movie about my life, and you are the inspiration for this movie." And Spike Lee's like, "Why are they doing a movie about your life?" She says, "Because I have suffered hard coming here to America and being a Ethiopian American." And he's like, "Well, this sounds pretty cool. Fuck, yeah, let her come to the party. We'll talk about this more." And so after the lecture, I'll go up to Albert's girlfriend, and I was like, "Wow, that was really cool." So this movie, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh yeah, it's going to be so cool. You didn't hear them talking about it? Like, who? It's like the Ethiopian woman. She's the one that got up and talked to Spike Lee, and that's the movie being made. I'm like, that movie? Really? That sounds really cool. And she wants me to be in her movie? Who's directing this movie? This is great. This is incredible. And she looks at Albert and says, Albert? I'm just like, fuck, man. I'm like, okay. So we go to the party. I get there late.
So how is Will Smith going to be?
Some woman came and talked to them. Some woman who claimed, as a matter of fact, this woman this shit at Access. She claimed to have connection with an agency that represented Will Smith and Stevie Wonder, and they could get it. Yeah, and I go up to the party. The moment I walk, Albert's girlfriend saying, "Oh, he's with us. Come on in." I walk to the door. Last thing I see is this Ethiopian woman talking to Spike Lee. And Spike Lee's like, "You know what? Just send my people a script." And she's like, "But wait, send my people a script. I can't talk to you anymore." I'm just like, fuck.
And you were that guy with her.
Fortunately, they didn't see me. As I walked up right as he was walking off, and I was just like, fuck, okay, I'm leaving this party. But anyway, man.
After I get as many free drinks as I can.
No, I didn't even do that. I was too embarrassed. At the time, I didn't even drink.
You were too embarrassed for free drinks?
You know
Holy
what?
crap, that's embarrassing.
At the time, I was probably about 23, 24, and I didn't drink at the time. So
this was like 20 years ago.
Try 30. So anyway.
This is when Spike Lee was still a college student.
Yeah, I'm 60 now. So, man, this was a good discussion with you. I like having these kind of discussions with you. It's interesting. It ain't this old shit. We sit down and just shoot the breeze. I mean, we get into some shit here. And that's what I like.
We got into some shit. We were in the shit together.
Oh, yeah, in the trenches.
We were in Nam.
Well, technically, I could be, according to how old you're saying I am.
Yeah, that was 30 years ago in Nam.
And people, you don't know,
There he was, in the jungle.
A lot of people, they see us from the waist down, but I'm missing a leg from Nam. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get into a couple of emails here.
If we have to.
Okay, we got some good ones this year.
I hope so. This year.
This year.
Okay, no more beer for you, my friend. The beer is cut off. I don't think we have beer left, actually.
Actually, we finished a 6-pack. There is no beer left.
That pretty much happens.
So,
he says, yeah, you've got the last beer. I'm done.
Jesus Christ, man. I'm so sorry here. I think I keep forgetting to put the names down. Dude, tell me your name and I'll read it next week. But this question comes from one of our spillers who says, Spilios. But see, I don't know which one it is. People say spillers and spilios. We should take a poll. You like spilios better?
I'm the one that coined spilios.
Oh, that's why you like it better. You're biased.
That's right. I'm biased. It's my white bias.
Okay, is that what it is? I should have known. Only a white man would think of something as silly as
spilios.
Hey, look, Carla, you have not had the experience that I have, and Spillers has a more racial historical context to it.
Oh, the Spilios. Just like it.
Let's see. Let's get into this email right here.
Why not? Because we're only like an hour and a half in.
I know. It's all right. People love this. You love it. This email says, which one of these upcoming movies do you think will cause the end of the world? And they have two. They said, Friedberg Seltzers, the guy who did the guys who did Meet the Spartans.
Yeah, the film's called Goody Two Shoes.
No, they said this movie's called Disaster.
That's
Movie.
because they're full of shit. The movie is called Goody Two Shoes.
And somebody else has said that on the line. I'm just telling you what they said here. They have an upcoming movie no matter what.
Yes.
And then they have Disney's latest crap fest, Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Okay, now the question is which is going to be worse? I don't know. If you haven't seen the trailer for Beverly Hills Chihuahua, you really do owe it to yourself to see it in a theater like we did and just watch the jaw-dropping awfulness. Especially, I can't wait to joke about this film, specifically because the whole concept is that apparently in the Aztec culture, Chihuahuas were raised and bred to be warriors. Now, in truth, Chihuahuas were raised and bred as food. That's why Chihuahuas are unintelligent, nervous, and hairless because they bred them that way because they were slow, easy to catch, and easy to cook and eat. They're small, fat critters that make good eating. So they made a film out of that. The Seltzer Friedberg, those guys are jagoffs. They started shooting the film in May. It's going into theaters in August. It's gonna be a big stinking piece of shit. We know it. They're not taking any time to make it.
Yeah, that shit came out quick, man.
I mean, they have to make it quick. Their jokes have expiration dates. We saw that with Meet the Spartans. What was our big complaint? The jokes were old a year ago. Well, now the jokes are only going to be 2 months old. So
let me just chime in and say, I hate these two guys as filmmakers, and these are probably the only people that I feel that way about. Because I'm usually fair. I come in and say, well, this was meant for this audience. They know who they're appealing to. These people are out to make a buck. No, these guys, these are only two I have a personal vendetta against. If there was a way to actually make them stop making movies, I would do it. If somebody told me to chop their hands off and they would never make a movie again, I would do it.
Dude,
but,
I don't know if I want to go that far.
I would go that far.
I just want to put them in a cell with, a big black guy named Tyrone that has a desire for young Jewish man pussy.
Hey.
That's what I really would like to see.
I know that guy. I can set this up.
See, I figured you did, actually.
Yeah, no, I met him. He's all right. I will say this much. I will always vote against Friedberg and Seltzer because looking at that trailer for Beverly Hills, Chihuahua, I laughed a lot more than I ever did at that shitty Meet the Spartans movie.
No, I didn't laugh one bit. I was in shock. But I will say this. I was having coffee with someone the other night that it was just somebody who I see at screenings every once in a while. I was like, oh, by the way, I want to thank you for that incredible review of Meet the Spartans. And I said, oh, well, thanks. Why? And it's like, well, look, I had a friend who was working on that, and she would call me every day, and she'd be like, oh, my God, my career is over. This is the worst movie ever. Everyone on the set apparently knew how awful this movie was, but they were like, okay, it's paying our bills. You know what? I can keep my apartment because I'm working on this film. But everyone knew what a big stinking piece of turd it was every day they went into work. And I just could not imagine what it would be like to, do that. It's just, oh, my God. So it was just kind of interesting. This movie is, dude, it's going to be awful. It's just it's a parody of Superbad.
Yeah.
And it's a parody of teen films.
No,
and it's like, wait, we didn't already get that with the actually funny, not another teen movie?
Yeah. No, man, these two guys, look, if you're working behind the camera and you need to be doing some production shit as a job, nobody gives a fuck about your name. Do what you got to do. But these two assholes here, as long as you're not them, that's all I care about, because I have a feeling if I see these guys on the street, I'm going to choke the shit out of them motherfuckers.
I can say that it's really funny that this isn't a Fox film like their last three.
Fox probably said, fuck this.
They said fuck this, and now Lionsgate is distributing this horse shit.
Fine, let them. I don't even want to talk about these guys. I hate these guys.
All right, let's move on to the next email. The next email is...
it says, hey, I am new to the site, and I was wondering, what do you think about the choice of Guillermo del Toro directing The Hobbit in a different direction from Lord of the Rings? And they say, I'm sorry for my English. I'm from Costa Rica. Thanks, and keep up the good work with the site. It's great. Look, it's hard to tell. I don't want to be one of those guys that starts spewing off what I predict about this movie. All I would say is that I'm looking forward to it, and I think that both these guys, Peter Jackson and Peter Jackson and Guillermo del Toro, they're two different visionaries, but visionaries nonetheless. And I think if it was going to be in anybody's capable hands, it would be Guillermo del Toro. And I'm looking to see what he can do different with this than something like Peter Jackson will do. Because really, if you read the Lord of the Rings trilogy and if you read The Hobbit, they're two different types of stories anyway. So that's what I think.
Dude, it's going to fucking rock.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool.
Del Toro with great material.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that if I were you.
Next.
I'm not going to read this whole thing, but it's somebody who says that they think that we talked about kids in the movies, and this is a person who thinks that old people are worse than kids in movies, and they want to know, what do you do when you have a disruptive old person in front of you or in back of you at the movie theater? And I'm going to sit up there and say, ain't shit you can really do about it because they're old and they don't give a fuck.
Well, it depends on what color they are, because if they're old white people, you can go, holy crap, there are niggers back here, and they will hit the deck.
Okay, and see, I
I did that just to see the look on your face.
I mean, that came out of nowhere. No, I'm just saying that's
Old people are
uncomfortable
easy to give
feeling
heart
here. What's
Old
that?
people are easy to give heart attacks to, and they're also surprisingly racist.
Well, old people, they just don't give a shit, man. They feel like first of all, I mean, with kids, you can take them out. I mean, parents are the ones to blame for them. Parents should be the ones to take their kids out. With old people, unless they're nurses there or something, there ain't shit you can really do about them. They don't give a fuck. Their mind is bad. Ain't shit you can really do about it except say, be quiet, and all they're going to do is yell back at you and keep doing what they're doing.
We here at Spill don't believe in racism. However, ageism is entirely appropriate.
I'm not even saying ageism, because I'm just saying, I'm not saying you should take them out because they're old. I'm saying that there ain't really shit you can do about it.
Yeah, the only old people problem I've ever experienced, which is rare, is the old woman kind of talking and narrating to her old friend.
Yeah, and old people will sit up there and they will repeat. Actually, I can't even blame it on old people, man, because old people kind of have those habits that younger people have, and they're just old and carried it with them.
I make a point of never going to the movie, before old bedtimes. I'm that guy who, because I don't want to deal with old people and I don't want to deal with kids, I go to the 10 o'clock showing of movies. I love the summer because there's these incredibly late 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock showings of movies that I can go into, and there ain't nothing but people our age there.
Yeah, no. See what old people do. I know what you're talking about, because they will repeat the funniest shit in the movie that you've already heard. Somebody will say something like, I'm just going to make up a line here. Yeah, man, but it's a dry heat. And you hear them, dry heat. But I've heard younger people do that shit too. If you really, hey.
Like, it's Britney Spears and she's shaving her head next to the Spartans.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Exactly. Hey, look, if you really want to make old people be quiet, turn around and say, boo! And hope they have a heart attack and fall over and die.
There's so many ways to give old people heart attacks. It's not even funny. Actually, it kind of is funny.
Just hope you don't get that really old person who shits on himself and don't want to do anything about it until they get up from the movie.
That reminds me of actually a funny story I read in the news this week. Which is,
what, some old person shit on themselves and didn't want to get up from the movie?
It's a program in Germany, and this old folks home that deals with Alzheimer's set up a fake bus stop out in front of the home because apparently, every so often a person with Alzheimer's will, stagger out and try to make their way home, and they'll take a cab to go to homes that don't exist anymore. So what they did is they set up a fake bus stop where no bus ever stops because they'll see the bus stop, they'll walk out to the bus stop and sit down. No, it's genius because then eventually one of the staff will notice them and walk out and go, oh, hey, the bus isn't coming. Why don't you come back inside and have a cup of coffee and wait for the next bus? And then they come back inside and have totally forgotten that they wanted to leave again and go back to their room.
I guess that makes sense.
It's just a piece of brilliance. It's been so positive that the response has been so good, and it worked so well that they're spreading it throughout Germany. We'll probably eventually start seeing it here soon.
Hey, I guess they don't realize they're having a prank pulled on them. They don't give a fuck. They don't remember.
And it's not really a prank. It's it's just
as long as they're not hurt, that's fine.
Yeah, no, that's the point. Is so they don't wander off and get lost. They're right there. They go and they sit down at the bus stop and.
As long as no old people were hurt in the making of that show, then I'm fine with it.
Oh, no, and it's not even a show. It's the real deal.
I tell you what I've seen, though, that makes me laugh about old people in movies. I've been to about 5-6 movies where you can tell some old person didn't know what they were seeing. They just saw something in the paper, I saw it on TV and said, I want to have a night out with my old spouse here. We're going to go see a movie. Last movie I really remember somebody getting offended in was The 40-Year-Old Virgin. And this old couple, you saw them walking out like, fuck this, how dare they? And I was like, what the fuck were y'all doing in here in the first place?
It was called The 40-Year-Old Virgin. It had the word virgin in it. You weren't even allowed to say that when you were kids.
Mm-hmm. So I guess they saw the word virgin and thought, this is good family clean entertainment. Let's go. I think they almost had a heart attack watching that shit. But anyway, that's our show for tonight.
No, it's not.
Why?
That wasn't a show. I refuse to believe that was a show.
What was that?
That was just us sitting in front of microphones for an hour and a half.
Isn't that what it is every week?
Yeah,
well. and how is that different from any other week? Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, you got anything you want to part with?
Good night, everybody.
Are you okay?
I got nothing, man.
You got nothing.
tapped out.
I'm just making sure you're all right. You gonna get home okay?
I've had 3 beers, dude.
Okay. I don't have to go anywhere.
I'll make an N-word joke just to see your response, but
I won't. I would
just fine.
I wouldn't worry about my response. It's the response of those people out there.
Oh,
those people.
Why do they have to be those people?
You people.
Who are you, Ross Perot all of a sudden? Our
You
audience doesn't even
people.
remember Ross Perot. That's the sad part.
I don't even remember Ross
You don't
Perot that
remember
well. I
Ross
don't think anybody really remembers Ross Perot that
I
well.
remember Ross Perot.
All right, y'all. We're gonna say good night.
Good night,
y'all.
everybody.
Yeah, I always have trouble finding the button. I think I'm old.
It's a
Where
simple
is it?
button.
Where is the button?
Push the button, monkey.
Jesus Christ, where is it? Okay, there it is. Good night, y'all. For real this time. Good night. Good night. Good evening. Good night.